Stick
I'm
with the
good
wine.
with that. How about you guys? I just
Yeah.
had a Corona.
Okay.
I'm not a margarita fan. I mean, it's alright. Alrighty. You all set, Lee?
Yes.
Tom?
Yep. Good.
Bob?
Yes.
Warren? Alright, band's all set, so let's play. Welcome everybody, we're gonna resume our public meeting at 7:01. We already started with a non-public with a tax collector, so we're in recess, so we'll come back from recess. So you can check that off. Alrighty, we have some minutes to
Yep,
approve.
we do, I've got all three of them here, so I'll hog the minutes for a moment. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the, Selectmen's regular meeting minutes from April 28th at 8:54. Doesn't seem, oh, this is non-public, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
non-public.
Non-public,
That's alright.
yep, from April 28th at 8:54 PM.
We have a second?
Second.
Alright, any discussion?
No, I'm good.
Alright, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Quick question,
Yeah.
you had a draft of the 21st minutes?
I haven't had any information off, I've just been.
Okay,
That's
so we're
good.
just gonna do the 28th, okay.
Yep, this is the 28th.
Maybe the corner side one.
Yep, I'll pass them to her. I'll make a motion to approve, non-public meeting minutes, again from April 28th, at 8:54.
Alright, is there a second on that?
Second.
Alright, any discussion?
Yeah, am I looking at the same document?
Oh, you know what it is, I'll make a discussion, I'll make a, pen and ink change. Can I, may I?
Yep, right ahead.
This one should be at 9:32.
Okay, so this one here is
That was
correct?
correct, yep, so. This is the first one or this is the second
No,
one?
they look like they're the same. Right here, see?
Yep, did you printed,
I think.
you printed two of the same, by the looks of it.
I was in favor of the first one. so-
Yeah, me too. So, yeah, we have, appears to be two copies. So moving right along, we'll
Yeah.
put those aside for the moment. I'll make a motion that we approve the regular selectmen's meeting minutes from April 28th at 7:07 PM.
Second.
Alright, any discussion, gentlemen?
No, I'm good.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We can pass that to Corin for her signature, and you can have her sign this one here, cause it's not changed. And this one here appears to be
Actually, this
Gavaish.
one's incorrect because.
Is it?
Yep, because you got 9:32 here,
Oh,
so it's,
okay, so we do need to make a
Yep.
change to that.
we still have a motion on the table for this one, so if you want, we can continue on with that one.
Well, we're good with this, except that we need to amend the time.
That's what I mean, it's part of the discussion. I make a motion, we amend the time to 9:32.
Yeah, and I would second that.
Alright, any discussion on changing the time to the correct time that it should be?
No.
Alright, all those in favor?
Aye.
Alright, that's the amendment, now back to the original motion of the minutes. Any discussion, any more discussion?
No,
All those in favor?
aye.
Aye. Cool, so that
And
would
this
be-
here is garbage then, right?
Yep, that one's garbage, I'd avoid that one. That one just got a pen and ink change, cause I didn't catch that up there, when I was cutting and pasting.
Yep.
But I had to make another whole set, because we couldn't.
Okay. And, that's it, for minutes.
We're waiting for one more.
Yep.
Are these all signed?
No. Okay. Is that the one for some reason?
No. That's the main ones.
Thank you. I think you attached the same thing, the letters are different, but,
Go ahead.
so this is the first one that I printed, and the header says,
That's the one, yep, this is the correct one. Because we had two of them.
it says BP,
Yeah,
no, it says, PD,
yeah,
that was that one,
right,
and then this one was town clerk.
right, but we had two of these, right here with the town clerk. had two versions.
And that one
Yep,
says-
cause he has it
Yeah,
over there.
it's right here.
Okay, so this one is no good.
Yeah, this is no good,
I'll take the sticky.
cause yeah. Okay, God knows we can't throw them away. Yeah, this is garbage too. Okay.
Curious, I
No
know.
problem.
Sorry about that.
You just staple it when we get a chance. So, we had, excuse me, well,
Okay.
actually, we already approved those, cause it was for the 854 ones.
Well, we didn't have them in our hand though.
True, so,
Alright, so now that we have the 8:54, the selectmen meeting minutes from April 28th at 8:54, now that we have the non-public meeting minutes, and they do appear to be the correct ones, so I'll make a motion that we approve.
we got another second.
Second.
Alright, any more discussion, gentlemen?
God, no.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alrighty. Well, now that we finished that all up. Judy, you're on the docket. The floor is yours once again.
Okay, thank you. I, went to the tax collector's spring workshop in early April. And one of the presenters was someone on record retention, and it came to my attention that, under RSA 33A, that we need, I believe, maybe Lean gave you this paperwork, gave you a copy of the statute.
Yes, I'm trying to look here right now.
I have one extra, if you'd like
Oh,
it.
yeah, got it, I was
Okay.
just, it's right there.
Okay.
I just had to pull it up.
Do you need a copy? Bob, I
Sure,
actually,
looking for it.
I actually gave it to you
Yeah.
last week. Here.
Yeah.
Oops, anybody
I've
wants
got
an
one.
extra?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
homework for you, last week.
Oh, yes.
Well, I will. So anyway, under this statute, it says that we have to have, a municipal committee
Yep.
regarding record retention. So I wanted to talk to you and bring this to your attention.
Sounds reasonable.
The statute says municipal officer or their designee,
Right.
together with the clerk, the treasurer, an assessor, and tax collector of each city or town shall constitute a committee to govern disposition of municipal records pursuant to this chapter. Of course, in the chapter, it does outline,
Number of.
the
records.
disposition of retention schedule,
Mhm.
disposition and retention schedule.
I think the only real concern after reading through this is that we have just basically, it says here, the retention schedule in the RSA, so it's pretty self.
It is,
fulfilled
it's-
prophecy on that,
Yes,
but it says, unless there's an ordinance, the committee shall designate the office responsible for the retention of each type of record. So that's all the committee would really have to go down through, is basically,
Can I just comment on this?
absolutely.
Since I've been here, we have been practicing and following that RSA,
Mhm.
so all
Mhm.
that document retention. Whether there was ever a committee established, I don't know, are you familiar with anything? You've been
I
here a long time.
brought it up to a couple of previous boards and,
This is the first time I've seen it or heard of it. I mean,
but
this-
it wasn't, it
yeah.
was,
When
years
Jan,
ago.
must have been when Janice was here, cause not when,
I-
not while I was,
Then it, yeah, it had to have been,
before that.
yeah, before that, I
So
brought
we
it up to
do-
a couple of boards and it just got nixed and I'm not gonna fight City Hall.
Mm.
It's a law, so it's,
Yeah.
no, we need to be in compliance with it. So new board, maybe,
So. Anyway, Joe, I assume you guys all read it?
Looked at it, didn't say,
Okay.
but
I actually took the time to read it myself,
so you have to designate the municipal officer.
or we serve as a
Or
board as
just-
a whole. There's,
Municipal officers or their designee, yeah.
Right. the municipal officers, which would be this board here, or the designee, so either we appoint somebody to represent us as a whole, or we
Right.
serve as a whole
Right,
on the committee,
correct.
so. That being-
I didn't bring it with me, but I did get the city of Keene,'s, retention schedule, which is pretty elaborative.
I mean, you get the RSA, what more do you need?
Well, because there are a lot of other things that fall within, you know, within
Mhm,
certain records. Who's gonna keep them? What about email? There are certain,
mhm.
you know, which office is gonna keep, like, who takes care of the tax collector's records? Are they supposed to go to the town clerk, or are they after, you know, there are some questions that do
So
need
it's
to be
more, they
answered.
have more like a policy than anything else than true
Well,
retention schedule.
they actually have a whole department that just does record retention.
So they're a city, so.
Of
that
course,
makes
of
sense.
course.
Actually, I don't, they probably fall under a different, category because of being a city. Or is this, it doesn't include city. No, in case the city adopted, yeah, council,
City or town,
Yep.
that would still be
Okay.
municipal. And I also I have feelers out for different policies in different towns to see what they do as well. Because now that this was brought up
Mhm.
at the workshop, a lot of towns are now in tune with this and looking into this, so. We're
This is not a new RSA, this has been
No.
out.
No,
Yeah.
it is not.
We
67
currently,
originally.
we currently follow
Oh,
the
yeah,
RSA for
67.
document retention, but there's
Yeah.
no committee, there's no
Correct,
designation, there's, you know, no clarity as to who.
Because as you read through, that's the last revision, so
Right,
that
yeah.
particular one, you flip over the other one,
67.
is 06.
Yeah,
06 was the last revision to that particular statute.
Yeah.
So tonight is just to get this committee established, to bring this to your attention and get this committee established.
This one was done July 4th last year, so they must have added some stuff in on this one. So, gentlemen, what's your thoughts? The floor is yours.
Well, I would say that the board should be the, on the committee.
Represent themselves.
Yeah.
Instead of a designate.
Right, yeah.
I'm good with that. Yeah. Cause I think once we have maybe 1 or 2 meetings, it's pretty much gonna be like on an annual basis, just to kind of.
Well, I
Yeah.
think the committee will decide that, as a committee.
Oh, absolutely, but I mean, once you get the preliminary work done, as in where the records are going, after that, what other function do you have? What this RSA reads, I mean, we're established a retention schedule that mimics the RSA. All
Correct,
we need now is just the committee to decide where the record's gonna be held.
correct.
So once that is done, what more does the committee need to do except on like an annual basis, just review it?
Probably,
That's what
Probably.
that's what that
Yeah,
was
the
my
first time
point.
will be the worst time for them.
Yeah, exactly. That's where all the pain's gonna be in the beginning, you know, just kind
Right.
of get everything set up, and once
Mhm.
it's set up, then that was what I envisioned, you know, it was what you're talking about like that, you know, when I was reading through this past weekend, so. The highlight of my weekend, when it was rainy on Sunday. So, I know, what's your thoughts, Bob?
So we're gonna have all three
Or,
selectmen.
does, you know, all three would be the board as a, you know, municipal, but if one, as long as you have a quorum, you're good.
Right,
So, if somebody misses the meeting, it's not gonna be,
okay.
it's not gonna take and throw everything off, cause it just, that means whoever's sitting on there as a quorum on the select board would have to make sure that they, actually no, cause it'd be a committee, so you don't have to agree.
And then
Right.
is it, if you do that,
Mhm.
and I'm not, it's fine, then do you have to notice it as a board of selectmen meeting?
I don't really think you need a quorum, I think you just need one member of the board, because
You could,
cause even for assessors, it says an assessor,
yeah,
doesn't
well,
say the whole board.
well, it says municipal officers means, in this case, the board of selectmen, so we can only act as a board of the whole, unless we give.
Or their
Oh.
designee,
Yeah, right, so
Singular.
we could take and designate one selectman to do that, or the town administrator, but I mean, I don't know. No, if you really wanna pile one more thing on her, that's,
I say
we were
yes.
just talking about that, you know. I think she's got enough stuff on her plate.
Yeah, she does.
Personally. So,
As far as what it would entail is just having an initial meeting and then going through the whole list and determining which documents go to,
no, I mean, yeah, that'd be
are,
one meeting or maybe a couple, depending on if you go painstakingly piece by piece, it might take quite a while to get through the whole thing, so you might need to do two.
I mean, my initial thought too is that we're gonna need to inventory what we have, this isn't just gonna be a sit-down meeting and say who's in charge of what, we have to see what we have, and then we've gotta decide
Hmm.
where it's gonna be stored, who's gonna be in charge of it.
Well, it's also gonna take some coordination, like, for example, police records and such like that, and you have other stuff, warrants, I mean, there's all kinds of different things, I mean, like, police records, I'm sure the police wanna keep on, hold of their own stuff.
Right,
You know, planning board probably wanna keep a hold of their stuff. You know, so that, I mean, so we're gonna have to have some input from them as well, so I think
I'd like to invite them to participate, I think that'd be a great idea.
either they can participate or they can give us their opinion, you know, when we're all said and done, you know, their choice. I don't, you know, cause I would hope they would come to the meeting and participate.
Right, I would hope so too.
What is the present email policy as far as retention?
I think, as far as as I know, if it's been deleted, there's a 7-day, override where we don't back up our emails to the cloud or anything like that, so. I don't understand, I'm not sure that there's. I guess I'd have to check with town attorney on
I
that,
guess
if we're
see that- I
supposed
guess
to
that-
keep it, because then it costs the town money to back that stuff up.
Yeah, 'cause
Right.
Right now, that's not happening.
No, it's not.
Oh, speaking of the devil.
Yeah, here's a burn.
Right,
She's calling you.
I'd have to
it's
ask
just a,
town attorney.
it's just a question about, should email be all
It's
printed
just,
out?
it's just like the
It's a discussion,
audio
I think, with the
recordings
committee.
and the draft minutes. The draft minutes can be deleted once they've been accepted, and the recordings can be deleted.
Well, I think
Right,
we're
but
kinda
correspondence.
diverging from the original concept of this discussion, which is the committee, so
Okay,
we can discuss that in the committee.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess the question for you gentlemen is how you wanna approach this, a designee or do a board as a whole?
Like the board as a whole.
Okay, okay with that too. And you, sir?
Well, that's fine, it'd be a public notice meeting then.
Absolutely, whether it's a workshop or,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're always
Things like
public,
that.
even if it's not a public, work notice as a selectmen's meeting, cause it's committee and selectmen are on it, it's still, it's a public notice meeting.
And your makeup of the board,
Just go right by the RSA here. So, I guess we need more, so we can have discussion. I'll make a motion that we establish a municipal records retention committee per RSA 33-A:3, consisting of the board of selectmen, the town clerk, town treasurer, a tax assessor from their choice, a tax collector. Did I say collector or treasurer?
Oh,
Yeah, well, I thought I said both, I wasn't sure.
you didn't say treasurer.
I thought I said treasurer first, 'cause I was trying to read it. And that's it. There's no more.
Can I be involved in this? I mean, a lot of these records are in my office.
Right, oh,
Did
absolutely.
you mention my name, my
Well, you don't have, you don't have to be part of the committee, you can be a resource, like the planning board and the police and all like that.
Okay.
So this way you're not, tasked with something. We're trying to.
I will be, because a lot of the documents are involved in my office, so.
I mean, as a resource, absolutely.
Okay.
If you're looking for volunteers,
Oh, yeah, no, we're gonna be
So
reaching
you're
out to all the
invited.
departments, cause it's record retention and stuff like that. You're on the list. Well,
You're
your
gonna be-
department.
You will be voluntold.
So it's the board of selectmen, town clerk, tax collector, treasurer,
Yep. And then assessor,
and assessor.
it's your choice, you gotta pick one.
Alright, let's see if I can get one of them to volunteer, but, you'll make a determination when you'll be having your first meeting?
I'm sure it won't be tonight, I don't think,
Okay.
so. We got other stuff on the agenda, so I'm gonna sit here and debate this all night,
Well, we're gonna have to figure out the committee.
so. That's the motion, gentlemen, I don't know if there's a second or not.
I will second it.
Alright, so we have a second, any discussion? Floor is open.
No, pretty good.
Alrighty then. No
That's
more-
it?
Well, now we gotta make a vote, so, all those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. We have a committee,
thank you.
now we'll,
Do we need the library in this thing, Brian? I see their name mentioned
if
too.
they are, then they will be,
They weren't one of the names on
No.
for the committee, but,
it's just their records.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Everybody, just about every record there is conceivable in the town is in this list,
Okay,
so, except for something from the school, they're probably gonna have cemetery records in here too, I think.
School records are right here. Oh, there's a RSA that governs that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Contracts, yeah, they don't have anything about cemetery.
Well, let's see it. Or have it anyway.
Oh, good, so, very sensible.
Good. Awesome.
It's all on you, bud. Alrighty,
Thank you, Judy.
you wanna have a discussion regarding, compensation first, or that,
Sure.
or you wanna wait till after the fact and do that when everybody's up?
Either way, yeah.
Cause they're already here already, right?
Yeah, we could go early if you wanted to.
Yeah, let's bring it in and
Yeah.
take a vote and.
You'll need to
go from
sign
there.
the appointment papers.
Yep.
Oh.
Those two.
So you didn't need him to sign after each one?
Yes.
This is
Make
for
sure we
Brian,
don't let him skip
and
out.
there's two, so that Dave can have an original.
All right.
You wanna wait until the family gets in here?
Sure. Yeah.
Smush 'em.
I'll give both of those to you. So you can pass them left and to the right.
You're welcome to come in if you.
You've got them all signed?
Oh, no, we
No.
don't have to sign them. Oh,
We were
we
doing
haven't,
it,
we
yeah.
haven't hired them yet, technically. Gonna make a motion that we appoint Ryan Milford as patrolman of the town of Dunbarton. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
We have a second. Any discussion, gentlemen?
None.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
All right. We have a new patrolman.
Excellent.
Slow down that way, because that way it'll work with
What's that, in the corner?
You don't want it on? You want it
No, just leave it alone,
Yeah.
just wanted to know, because they're not
on?
signed.
Yeah.
There you go, young lady.
Would you like to introduce them first?
Yes, that's. Just wanted to introduce our patrolman here that we'd like you to appoint tonight. This is Brian Tyler.
Brian Tombrello. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
Bob Martell.
Congratulations and welcome aboard.
Meet you, Kevin.
And our town administrator, Lynn Colon.
Nice to meet you, Brian, we'll be meeting you again, I'm sure.
Brian, you can.
And after the,
actual
after the
appointment,
oaths,
and I'll
we'll,
do the oath of
this
office
one is
after.
where our trainers are.
Alrighty, sure. So this is a notice of appointment for Brian Tyler of Milford in the town, in the county of Hillsborough. It says, whereas there is a vacancy for a patrolman in the town of Dunbarton, and whereas we, the subscribers, have confidence in your ability and integrity to perform the duties of said office, we do hereby appoint you, the said Brian Tyler, a patrolman of said town, upon you taking the oath of office and having this appointment and a certificate of said oath of office recorded by the town clerk, you shall have the powers to perform the duties and be subject to the liabilities of such office until another person shall be chosen and qualified in your stead. Given under our hand this 5th day of May, 2016, Brian Pike, Tom Brolo, Robert Mattel.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You gotta make that font bigger. Even with the glasses.
Brian, I'm Linda, I'm the town clerk, I'm gonna be, giving you your oath of office. I think the wife wants to take pictures.
She's good, she's
You're
good.
good? All right. And you need to face the camera, because it's your face they want to see. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Brian Tyler,
I, Brian Tyler,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will bear faith and true allegiance
that I will bear faith and true allegiance
to the United States of
to
America
the United States of America
and the state of New Hampshire,
and the state of New Hampshire,
and will support the Constitution thereof.
and will support the Constitution thereof.
So help me God.
So help me God.
And I, Brian Tyler,
And I, Brian Tyler,
do solemnly and sincerely
do solemnly and sincerely
swear and affirm
swear and affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent on me
all the duties incumbent on me
as a patrolman
as a patrolman
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
agreeably to the rules and regulations
agreeably to the rules and regulations
of this Constitution
of this Constitution
and the laws of the state of New Hampshire.
and the laws of the state of New Hampshire.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Brian's wife Katrina's gonna put his badge on it.
Yeah, come.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations again, sir.
Congratulations, Brian.
Congratulations, Bob.
Sign the paperwork.
What's that? Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
We're having a little reception back at the PD down the street. Yes. Okay, I made copies.
Do you want us to
We're good.
continue the conversation? Oh, you need to go do something else?
No,
Because we can hold off on that until a little later, we got enough stuff to keep us busy, so.
Okay, I'll come back in about half an hour.
That's
We'll
fine.
we'll still be
We'll be
here.
here.
Trust me, we'll be here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Get out early, I need cupcakes for the reception if you get out.
Well, it's a little bit of deja vu, it wasn't so long ago you were here.
Oh my, I know, right? It feels like forever.
Yeah, there are days like that.
Yeah. Neither, how's that for answer? Great.
Alrighty. Okey dokey.
Just in case you might wanna use
Oh, I'm sorry. Leo, public comments.
Nope.
Thanks.
Well, me, I had nothing to say.
All right, we broke our, order of what we're doing things in, so it kind of,
Yeah, we'll just,
you know,
alrighty, gentlemen, you wanna continue on with the packet here?
sure.
Alrighty. We've got, 3 different proposals, I believe.
Before we look at those,
Yeah.
how successful were we with delaying the start over there? Were they able to delay the, you
I think
know,
there was an email saying that he got in, he was able in
Are
time
you
to.
talking about ordering
slate?
the slate? Yeah,
oh,
I
was
got
there an
him
email?
just in
I'm
time.
way behind the email, so.
yeah, no, he said
Yeah,
perfect
Oh,
timing, he hadn't
good,
placed the order, so
excellent.
he will wait until he hears back from
perfect,
me.
okay, good, so
No
we're
worries
kinda
there.
on a holding pattern.
You know, I'm
That's
looking at this and I'm thinking of the value of volunteers that step up and do stuff. And as I'm looking at 2 of these, you actually would have to go out to bid for,
Yes, and
you
I did,
know?
do you want to review the bid? I forgot to bring it.
It should, I thought we had a copy of it at my desk or something.
Right.
And you only have one that, falls under the, you know, the bid amount. And I would make a suggestion, since they haven't heard from this Keith St. Pierre, who may have some information for us to delay doing anything with any of this. Cause you may find that, from Mass Road Building Grain, which they spec
Yep.
some of that stuff out, that he may come in with a number that isn't gonna equate any of this, but it's gonna
Right.
include his construction.
Right, well, that's if we use him for that, I mean, depending on what the cost is.
I understand that, I'm just saying, you know, in comparison to what you have here.
Well, none of the, have any of these numbers been posted anywhere that you would have access to them?
Shouldn't look, yeah, we think it's just all amongst ourselves.
No, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, no, I haven't, these bids have just come in and they've only been circulated through
Okay.
the board.
So what are you suggesting, we hold on until he
Well,
submits?
well, I think, well, you know, having a discussion is that, if within the next few weeks he comes in with a number that is doable, cause otherwise, you actually have to put these back out to bid.
Well,
No?
I just got a dumb question. Are we talking about actually purchasing the wood and actually installing it? Or are we just talking about the,
Well, he's gonna get a number from them.
right, I mean, I think that's, we're getting the cart behind, in front of the horse is what I'm thinking, because right now, we're just talking about getting an engineer on board to take and create documents, plans and such, so we can actually purchase the lumber. and have something to go with.
Right, but I know that they provide engineering there for some of that with
Oh, at Mass, yeah, but,
Mass Road. That's what I'm trying to
Yeah, right.
find out if he
Yeah.
comes out with a better number. It might be at no cost, you know?
it could be, but I mean, are they gonna have an engineer come in and take a look at it and actually stamp plans, so they can, you know, is that part of their service?
Well, did he get a copy of the drawings?
He got he got all the
Okay,
specs.
so they're gonna have
letters.
everything to go by
Yeah,
that everyone else had to go
Mhm.
by,
Yeah, cause I mean,
you know?
so,
The only thing you're not gonna have is probably you're not gonna get a stamp
mhm,
from their engineering department, you know, but.
right. No, I understand that, and I guess the question is, do we wanna pay for that engineering stamp and, you know, they have that confidence that
Well,
something's wrong?
what's the liability if we don't?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know if we even have
Is
it.
it, I mean, it's a public building, it's not like you're doing that in your,
Mhm.
you know, for your shed, that's a public building. So if you don't do that, if you don't have a stamp, how's that any different than us coming up with a design?
Well, the only thing I can say
Oh,
is
that's a
that,
liability.
Right, well, that's what I mean.
the only thing I can say is that had that been done and using volunteers, you would have probably had drawings without a stamp on it and being done by volunteers.
Yeah, but that whole thing seems like
Yeah,
it's
but-
kind of evolved
But then
now.
again, we probably had Jeff Trexler been the volunteer, and with the plan and design, he's a
Right,
certified PE. Even
But
though
I don't think you'd get a stamped drawing.
No, you wouldn't, cause he's not getting a reimbursement for it, so.
Right.
But,
But the thing, I mean, this whole thing has kind of evolved here from
Yeah,
when
it
they were
has.
talking about, you know, initially, I don't recall any discussion on any structure on the inside of the building. That, you know, kinda came, later, I think, and then it was, last year it was talked about volunteers, and more recently, the volunteer thing got kinda poo-pooed for various reasons, and ended up, you know, go hire an architect and a construction company. So I don't know that any of that is still valid, the volunteer piece of it, I think, you know, we've moved beyond that.
Well, I'm not talking about, I'm saying that have we gone in that direction, we haven't gone in that direction. I don't think you're gonna foresee us going in that direction, cause it takes, it actually takes people with experience to do the
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of
no,
work
I
we need to have
don't
done.
think volunteers is the way to go. I'm not trying to sell a volunteer idea.
I mean, you can
I
only,
don't think it's a
like,
good one, I didn't think it was a
some
good
of
one.
us said, you can only have so many people passing you up material. It takes more than one person to install it.
you know, I think that's, I mean, with the right couple of people in charge, you could probably take a herd of volunteers and actually might be able to do it, you know, but they're gonna have to be really on top of everybody's movements. That being said, I don't know if we have anybody right now that could, who would take and put the time and effort into it that would benefit us with volunteers. We probably have to go outside.
So I'm
Yeah.
thinking,
That's just my 2 cents. You got a question?
No, can I say something? I think what you're talking about, you need four key guys to do the work. And then probably 4 guys to do the passing and cutting. I think that would work great.
Potentially, but I mean, thing is to have someone that's on board that's gonna wanna do that and have everybody, so, you know, and coordinate schedules and get it done in, I think.
Yeah, right, the scheduling part might be the difficult part, but I think you can do that if you, as you said earlier, if you get your paperwork first, if you get your pictures first, you know? Get the drawings first and then you know, past that, you know, a couple of key guys can get another, you know, and you partner up 2 guys and you work at it that way. So if you have one guy that knows what the hell is really going on and he was working with someone, cause there's gonna be 2 guys on each side.
Yeah.
The lateral bracing, you know?
Mhm.
I don't think it's a no-brainer really, I think. It's other than where the bracing is going and how it's going up, but other than that, I don't think it's a big deal.
Probably not, though, until you get, you know, just, you know, all things being considered, I mean, a lot of it's gonna have to do with timing and everything like that, cause we also have a contractor that's gotta start putting material on the roof.
Yeah.
So they gotta take all that stuff off,
Mhm.
then we gotta get there and do the bracing before they put the new material back on.
can I just, Jeff Trexler was nice enough to keep in, communication with me. He said that the key is to have the bracing done before the material comes off,
Oh, before it comes off? I thought you said,
Yeah,
That's
when I
what he
talked to
said.
him, he said, you know, when we put the new material on,
Cor-
when you had the least
Right.
amount of weight on it.
Well,
put
see, the
brazing.
problem is coordinating that team of individuals to get the material in there and get the work done.
Right,
To remove all that material, you're looking at covering the entire roof for a week, maybe 2 weeks before you can go ahead
well, I
and.
hope it would take
and
2
he-
weeks to
No,
take,
I'm
put
just
that,
saying theoretically, he's
bracing.
saying at least a minimum of a week. And he wouldn't want the building open to the elements, or
Right.
just,
yeah,
plastic,
yeah.
you
But
know,
plastic
covered.
is the least amount of weight than, you know, than slate,
Right.
so.
He said that it would work with, the material on there, cause it's not adding a lot of weight, and then once that's removed and the new weight comes in, then you'd see that he was just in yesterday, I think, to confirm that.
Well, those ranges from just under 9 to
Mhm.
up from there. And if we go with any one of these three, they'd give us stamped architectural drawings, is that my understanding?
Yes, or stamped, plans,
Plans?
yeah, that are architectural. An engineer is not an architect.
Alright,
They
so
do a
they
lot
give
of
you
stuff.
plans.
Yeah, plans. Under, you know, I guess the requirement bid is, you know, the only thing right now is, an emergency basis and emergency procurements may be made when there exists a threat to public health, welfare, or safety, provided that such emergency procurements shall be made with such competition as practical under the circumstances. So, I don't know if that would fit underneath there, unless you consider leaving that building open to the weather, an emergency. Considering we already have someone on board to take and do the actual shingling,
Yeah,
so kinda, you know, it is kind of an emergency in that respect, cause we already awarded a contract to put the material on top of the damn roof.
right.
And now we gotta kinda like say, oops, hold on a second, and then we gotta do this.
And what's the bid policy, 10,000?
This is what's the older one, so I don't know, I think it's 10. There's over 7,500 on the sealed bid, but I thought it was under 10. We're okay, cause we upped it. So this is an old one,
Yeah.
so that being the case, I don't know the numbers. I think if you do, if it's between, if it's under the 10 one, then, you can do telephone quotation forms, which in
Yeah.
essence,
And starting out, you didn't know if you were gonna have something over the 10.
right. So, I guess the question is, do we wanna take in, we can also, we have the choice of taking, not going with the policy as well too. Have
No.
you read it?
yeah, no, that's okay.
So what is, help me out here, Keith St. Pierre, I know he's the guy that did the,
Fire station.
fire station,
Right.
and,
Mhm.
but he's using Mass Road lumber, is it? And they're coming up with a plan for him, is that what they're doing?
Well, I don't know, I mean, Lean's probably had more conversation with him than we have, you know? And I'm just curious if he would have a number that he could use within the next couple of weeks. Cause you're only looking at 2 weeks, you know? It's either that or you're gonna spend
Because
a,
how do you get involved in this anyway? Because, I mean, I thought we only put our fuels out to engineers.
and I don't know, I think he reached out to Lean, or Lean may have talked to him, or I don't know how that happened.
I don't either.
But all I can say is that it's gonna take you 2 weeks, even if you're looking for the 85 or 8,700, you know?
Yeah.
Cause that's the engineering,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's the cost of doing the work,
Right,
and then it's the cost of putting the roof on.
correct.
And what are they talking about construction phase services, are they gonna even do the physical work?
No, they actually, when whoever is awarded the job to put that wood up, you know,
Yeah.
the bracing up there, that means they're gonna purchase the wood, they're gonna cut it, they're gonna mount it, and they're gonna take and put all the bracing in up in the ceiling.
So they're gonna bring
Above the
their,
ceiling, I should
their
say.
crew in to do it?
No, they don't bring a crew in, these people come in, they actually do an inspection to make sure it's being done right according to plan.
Oh, so they're just gonna watch you do it?
Well, I'm not gonna watch the whole thing, they'll probably just make spot checks and such, come in, check, like, on the initial one, you'll probably have a pre-construction meeting, they'll go over the plans, make sure everybody's on board with it, if there's any questions, take care of that kinda stuff. They'll start the work, and then probably, I would think, within a half a day or a day into the work, they'll probably come and pay a visit and see how they're doing, and then,
He may make several
Yeah.
visits.
so, exactly, just to make sure everything's on board, then they'll also have a final inspection.
Yeah, this is separate from any construction.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, well, I was just wondering, I mean, it says construction administration, and
That's
this
a-
guy down here says construction phase services.
Same thing.
So I was wondering if that meant they're actually bringing people in, if they are for that price, we should do it.
Those are the exact,
Those are
those are the exact same things, it's just that the third guy there, Joel Fisher,
Yeah,
he worded it differently than the other two did.
that's fine, I just
And-
wanted,
And she copied it verbatim.
yeah, that's fine.
even though he's got the drawings from Jeff, so it looks like he's gonna come in and look it over.
Well, Jeff's drawings are pretty rudimentary as in just the
Yeah.
beginning, so they're gonna have to, get
So he's
some
gonna-
deeper.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's gonna come in, he's gonna make the assessment, he's
Mhm,
gonna go back, do his drawings, he's gonna probably figure out
mhm.
if what Jeff was talking about is good or not, or
Mhm.
what he's gonna
Yeah.
do differently. And then
Exactly.
they monitor the
Mhm.
construction as it goes along, just so
Exactly,
it's going in the way that he wants it in,
exactly,
because you got that stamp on that drawing, that's his credentials.
absolutely. If something goes wrong and it's actually by the contractor that's putting stuff in does it wrong, then they're gonna be doing this finger kinda pointing, especially if you
Yeah.
have a cave in.
So,
Excuse me.
back to Keith, because I've only met him once, I think, maybe twice.
Been knowing him for a while.
He would do the work though, wouldn't he? Isn't he a contractor? Isn't
Yeah,
he?
he's a
That's what he
contractor.
does. So even if we didn't, so let's just say, for example, we went with Fisher, maybe Keith would be interested in doing the actual work.
Right. I think what he's trying to do, like, I think,
What I would,
Both ends.
what I would want to see is what, Mass Road came up with for him, and it doesn't mean that he might be the successful number, he might not be. But you may have an idea of
Well,
what
yeah.
needs to be done up in the top.
yeah,
How does
Because
Keith
they're
seem
gonna
to
do the
get
same
involved?
thing, they're gonna,
He's been following the minutes, he came
Oh,
in
he
one
has,
day and I
alright.
said, oh, are you interested? Cause I'm aware that lumber companies will do an engineering spec
Yeah.
Mhm.
on house plans, so if you bring house plans, you can say, I want a lumber kit for this, and they'll review
Mhm.
the entire thing and come up with the stamped, engineered material that you
Okay.
need.
I was just curious.
And I said, and I asked him, would you be interested in doing it? He said, sure, cause he came in, he said, have you guys awarded that
Mhm.
bid yet? And I said, no, I said, I'm sending.
Now, how long has he been working on it?
I gave it to him last week, and I saw him in the building department this week, and I asked him if he had followed up with, checking with Mass Road, and he said he
Alright.
hadn't had a chance, so I gave him another call yesterday after I talked to Jeff. But that was never anything that was offered from Jeff, from an engineering
Oh.
individual, but.
No, just curious.
Yeah, I understand, I'm just kind of, I don't know, leery in the sense, cause if they put together a plan, who's gonna be doing the, construction administration portion of it? Because they can hand him the plan, he can come in here and do it, and says, he might not agree with the plan or something like that, or may not do it exactly, and something could go wrong, but if Mass Road has put their stamp on it, are they gonna take and back it if something goes wrong with Keith's the one putting the materials up there and actually doing the work, without coming out and doing the
The actual
pre-con,
inspection.
the inspections and the final and all, to make sure everything is to satisfactory installation. So,
Yeah, I mean,
I get a lot of questions with that,
I'd be maybe okay more with him, as
doing the
the
work.
guy doing the work, but
Yeah.
I don't know, enough about him and his company to know if I'm all that comfortable with him doing the
Yeah.
engineering piece of
I
it.
don't know if they get into that detail where it's critical for an installation
Yeah,
of a structure that's existing that needs reinforcement, I don't know how.
yeah, and then, well, that's a public building too, I think that,
Yeah, I mean, if it was like,
is another thing that makes me a little bit
if
nervous.
it was my roof or something like that in my house, that'd be one
I
thing,
wouldn't
but,
care. I'd
it's
do it.
private.
If that was the case, I wouldn't be asking anybody, I'd just go do it.
Right. So, I don't know, what do you say?
Yeah, that one makes me a little bit nervous.
Me too. I mean, not saying they couldn't do it, but
No,
I mean,
me either, but right now,
We
a
got
little
too
bit that I
many
know
questions.
makes me nervous, yeah.
But I guess like, you know, right now, we're at the point though, we have the purchasing policy, we've got 3, for all the heads first, they call telephone quotes on a service to take and draw out plans, contract administration, to do, you know, do the work that we need to get done so we can actually move forward with shingling that building.
Yeah, and I would say that we followed the policy, because we didn't know what these bids were gonna come in at. And you got one that, you know, sort of low bidder.
Mhm. I guess, how soon can these guys get in here and do this, or
I
gals?
I know that, Hoyle and Tanner, which is one of the higher
Yep.
ones, said she's been calling me every couple of days.
They can do it now,
They
right?
can do it now.
Okay, so these guys can do it now, what about Foley and Buell?
He, in our first conversation, he mentioned, well, we're already in May,
Mhm.
first week of May, he said no sooner than the end of June, maybe July.
Okay, I'm gonna say July first.
Worst case.
And then I did not mention, I did mention in conversation to Fisher that we were
Mhm.
looking to have this done because literally, to all
Mhm.
3 of them, I mentioned that the slate that's there is, the material that's there is falling
Mhm.
off the roof. I haven't gotten a confirmation for a date, but
Okay.
he's a one-man individual, he
Mhm.
can, I think if you
So-
read the email that's, what's it?